From incompetent to confident, a 22-year-old's career breakthrough. Well, I'm going to tell you a story. All right. 6 months ago, one of my clients told me, I used to see myself as incompetent, but now I know I'm not. I'm growing. I'm confident. I can rely on myself. Now, this is at the end of working together, right? It wasn't the beginning. How did he get there? Let me tell you a little bit. This is Tsepo. He's 22 years old. He's a prior college basketball player. He was fresh out of college. He just went through a transformation that it takes most people years to achieve, and some don't never achieve it. And today, I want to kind of walk you through his exact journey, because if you're feeling stuck or unclear or lacking confidence in your career, his story will show you what's possible. So let me tell you a little bit about Tsepo, all right, how it started out. So he's a college basketball player, like I mentioned. He's a recent college graduate. He's working in his first job. He's smart, he's capable, but he's feeling lost about his next steps. Everyone expects him to have it figured out. And on the outside, he looked like he did have it figured out. But in the inside, he felt incompetent. So let me share some of the words he gave to me. He said, I joined the course, which is a career growth accelerator course. I joined the course after graduation. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. He wanted guidance. He also said, I wanted to gain better confidence about my strength and strengthen my character. Even though I had strong character, I didn't know how to use it. Interesting quote right there. Maybe it hits you. All right. Why does this matter to you? I'll talk about it later, but like, age doesn't matter. The principles are the same, whether you're 22, you're 52, you're retiring, okay? Feeling incompetent despite being capable is a universal challenge. Many people have this challenge, okay? You don't have to be at his age to have that feeling, right? External success doesn't equate to internal confidence. So let's talk about the problem, right? And start with the surface level problem, the problem that he started with, right? Which was, I want to find a better job. He went to that program. The program guarantees to help you get promoted or find a new job and move up, have the abilities as you get promoted. And he wanted to find a new job. He wanted to feel more confident in his interviews as he was looking for his next position. He was looking for career direction because he wasn't entirely sure where to go. But as I started working with him a little bit deeper, I found there was, as we would expect, some underlying goals, some things that weren't as visible that we started to come out, because that really determines a lot of how we see the world, what actions we take, and the results we have. He told me, my real goal isn't just to get a better job, it's to help my mom not be so stressed. What a powerful declaration to make, to understand the real needs underneath. His true motivation was family legacy and impact. And carrying emotional weight wasn't his to carry, but he had been carrying it. It's a classic high achiever burden. I must fix everything. Maybe it's an overstatement, but how many times do you act as if that was true? You do things as if you had that statement, that story, that assessment that I have to fix everything. I'm a high achiever. That's what I do. I fix things. He had that. It was somewhere in there, right? It wasn't surface level. It was deeper down there. I have to fix everything. And when it comes to my mom, I got to fix that situation. So as we were diving through this, I started to uncover some, maybe you could call it universal truths. Most career struggles aren't really about careers. They're usually more about identity, purpose, relationships. Because your career is just the vehicle. It's not the destination. Talk about it in other videos, but the mission, if you have a big life mission, a North Star, there's many ways to accomplish it. And that's where the career is. It's just a vehicle. It's not the destination. So let's talk about the transformation, some things that changed. And we'll go through 4, all right? The first one, just make sure I'm tracking where I'm at. The first one is the change between be, do, and go, and have. I mentioned this in another video. You can want to be the breakdown. But that was the first one. He told me before, I need to have a job to do meaningful work so that I could be confident. And we worked on that together. And at the end of the course, he realized that he said, I need to be the confident person I am. Then I get to do the work. Then I'll have the opportunities. And we'll see that a little bit later on in his story. He told me the course gave me a new way of thinking. Before I thought I had to have things so that I could do things so I could be successful, but it's the opposite. The second thing, I'll just put focus here, but it was focus versus chaos. Before, he said, I was trying to do everything at once. And because of that, doing nothing well. My coach often tells me, if you chase 2 squirrels, you catch none, right? Being focused is so important. Have you ever tried to catch 1 squirrel? Imagine trying to catch 2, right? You need to be focused. And so for him, what he told me, it's quicker to my success if I commit to one path than trying everything at once. And he did that before he was just applying all over the place. And then he started to really focus on his aligned opportunities and what was important for him. And that changed a lot for him, made things lighter for him. The third thing was the reliance. I'll just write the word reliance. But before he was searching for external validation, and he realized really what he needed was self-reliance. Before he said the words, I was seen as incompetent. But the shift for him was, now I know what I'm doing. I know what I can do. I know I'm growing. I know I'm confident. I can rely on myself. And that made it to where he didn't need the external validations. And going back to before, the be, do, have, when he started being a confident person, he did things as a confident person. And he started getting told, hey, you're very confident in your work. He started becoming very reliable because he started to realize he can rely on himself. And the fourth one is again, it's an outcome, okay? It's an outcome. There is a difference between helping versus, I'll write the whole thing, fixing, okay? We talked about that high performance tendency to want to fix everything, all right? He realized he didn't need to fix his mom's stress. Before, he wanted to fix his mom's stress and her problems and help his mom that way. But he realized, I don't need to do that. If I work on myself, it helps her. I can't carry all her stress by myself. So part of it was setting some boundaries, right, on how he could support his mom, but also realizing that I can help her. If I'm helping myself become better, it will help her. And those were 4 big areas that really, really helped. So let's talk about some practical changes. And because I'm all about practical, and this is stuff that I cover with my clients, that we do the deep work. But the first one I'm putting on here, identity. Just got to make sure I spell it right before I put this up on there. Identity work, okay? Clarifying his personal mission and values, okay? There needs to be a separation between who he is and what he does. And then practicing to learn to speak from that place. Speak from a place of values in tough situations. The second thing we worked on was decision making. I did this through role-playing exercises under pressure. And he told me this was so important for him. He says they really pushed him to think faster, or his words, he said, the role-playing exercise pushed me to think faster and stand by my values. And he also told me he had never done that kind of decision-making before outside of sports, where you're put in there, you have a scenario, you have a time, you have people to talk to, and you have to be able to make those decisions. And he told me that it helped him build confidence through practice, not just theory. Okay? That's the real thing. I'll talk about that later. Practice. Flex those muscles. You can look at weights all day, but until you start pushing plates, you're not going to get stronger. Okay? The third thing was group learning. Okay? I think this is very underutilized and super, super important in this type of training. And again, he was younger. He's on the younger side. I'll share some of the quotes he said. Hearing from people already in careers helped me so much. Even though they were older and more experienced, I realized they're still facing challenges too. In other words, it normalized the struggles because everyone has struggles behind the curtain. And it also accelerated his learning because he was able to learn from people who have struggles that are probably a few steps ahead of his. So the group was huge. And the fourth thing I'm going to write here is strategy. Okay. He had to build some strategy. Specifically for him, it was around his family. Create a plan in ways to help his mom, okay, not try to fix her. Realizing that his influence was so important. We all have influence. We have more influence than we know. And he knew he had influence with his mom. But once he put himself in that framework of mind, he realized, hey, I already have influence. There's a way to create some structure around it. Maybe having weekly conversations about a specific topic, just me and my mom, can help a lot of growth for her as I start to grow myself. And it changed a lot. Let's have conversations, not try to fix, let's have conversations. And then model the transformation, okay? Rather than just preach about it, model it, because he was also transforming. So after all this, let's talk about some changes that happened, outcomes, things that were very clear for him. Let's talk about internal changes. First thing he told me, he said, I've gained more confidence in myself and in my decision-making. He said, I know how to get better now. I know how to get better now. I know there are other ways to keep growing. And he also said, everything is less scary now. I have confidence. I have peace. Those alone can be life-changing. Those internal changes, absolutely life-changing. Let's talk about external changes. I mentioned this before, but he had more confidence in his interviews and his work. And he started saying he'd get compliments from his coworkers, noticing his improvement in attitude and energy. He told me, I go into work confident. I've done this before. I know who I am. Now let's talk about relationship changes. Well, things got a lot easier in his family. There's clear boundaries, less family stress, better communication about his own needs. He had a plan and structure about how to build conversations with his mother, how to be able to influence her, how to help her, but not feel like he had the whole burden, not feel like he has to fix her, not having that whole responsibility on him. And finally, future orientation. He was no longer waiting for external validation to feel confident. That's huge. He had a framework to how to continue his growth. And he was able to see challenges and opportunities to apply his new mindset. So all those were specific outcomes with the coaching that we did together. So what does this mean for you? Again, I'm harping on some of these so that it starts to stick, so you can really see how to make this useful for you. The first lesson that I want to talk about is age and experience. Okay. Lesson 1, age and experience. They don't necessarily matter for transformation. Okay. This was a 22-year-old achieving what many 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds still struggle with. We all know those old grumpy people, and they still act like they're children. Okay? Many people don't achieve this type of transformation. Age and experience doesn't matter. Principles work regardless of where you are in your career. That's why they're principles. Okay? They go beyond that narrow scope. Okay? And it's not about time. It's about clarity and application. How do you apply it? I'll talk about that a little bit later. The second one, careers or identity. Okay. Career problems are usually identity problems. Job searching is just the surface of the symptom. Right? The real work happens at the identity level. I mentioned this in other videos. When I was at McKinsey & Company, companies would pay us a lot of money to come at the very beginning in the strategy sessions because they knew the decisions that were made in that strategy would have implications for years and years to come as they implemented it, as they troubleshooted it, as they expanded it. Everything came from the very, 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 very beginning, and that's why they would pay us crazy money, right? The most prestigious consulting firm in the world, the most expensive, the very beginning in that strategy portion. So it's the same thing with people. It's the identity. The real work happens at the identity level. Change the person, change the results. Why? Because the person sees themselves in the world a certain way, and within that observer, they take specific actions that they see that they are capable of having, and those actions have very specific results. You want to change the results? Change your actions. You want to change your actions? Change the observer you are. Change that person. Okay. The third lesson here is the power of group. Okay. Group learning. One-on-one stuff is very powerful. Group stuff is also very powerful. It's different. Okay. When you hear others' challenges, it normalizes your own. You realize they all have challenges. Peer perspectives provide insights you can't get alone. It's amazing how much you can learn from other people because, again, they're their own observer. What they say is their perspective and it's very valid. All right. He can learn that, hey, I'm not broken. I'm just growing. We're all in different growth phases. And the fourth one here is just the importance of family. I'm just putting family here. But family dynamics really affect career performance. I've seen this from other of my college basketball players. I've seen this with some of my Marines too. Like the family dynamics is kind of more encompassing that they give credit to. A lot of the decisions are made around the family. And it's very hard. You can't compartmentalize personal and professional growth. Okay. Who you are at work comes from where you're coming from home, right? The home to the work. Okay. You can't really separate that much. When I work with one-on-one with executives, 85% of all challenges at work start from the home. So it makes sense. So I have this as that fourth thing about family. Healthy boundaries improve both relationships and your career trajectory. Taking care of yourself is taking care of others, and especially your family. So those are the four things I have there. Age and experience, the career identity, group learning, and the impact of family on your career. So I will, again, go over some of the framework that we used, okay, so that you can use it for yourself. All right. The first one is mission. Be very clear in your mission. What is your real why? For him, initially he said, well, I just want to get a better job. I want to move up. And then we found out it was because of his family. He really wanted to serve his family, specifically his mom. Get very clear in your mission. How does career serve that mission? Okay. Your mission shouldn't be the career. Okay. It should be something much larger, much more impactful than just the career. All right. The career is a way to serve the mission. What impact do you want to have? The next one, identity. You hear me say it a lot because it's so important, because I am a military veteran who understands the importance of identity so much. Identity before action. Who do you need to be to achieve your mission? And then what would that person do in your current situation? Start being that person now, regardless of the circumstances. Identity, so important. Third, then we start focusing on execution. Execution. Got to spell it right. Okay. Pick one path and commit to it. Stop trying to do everything at once. I have that challenge. I like to do multiple things. I'm doing multiple things now. I'm trying to get more focused. My coach is telling me to get more focused. I try to help other people also be more focused. Okay. I won't say it like I'm an expert. I know the feeling because, again, my coach told me if you try to catch 2 squirrels, you catch none. Chase 1 squirrel at a time. And the fourth part is growth, continuous growth. Okay. Not stop. You're not done growing. Continuous growth. Build systems for ongoing development. Use challenges as training opportunities. Stay connected to mentors and peers. Just keep growing. All right. So those were the 4 things that you can use yourself. Work on your mission, your identity, your execution, and your growth. All right. We're almost done for today's conversation. So Tsepo's transformation happened specifically in a program. It's called the Career Growth Accelerator. That's what I call it right now. It's over 12 weeks. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling incompetent, if you're feeling unclear about your next steps, you are exactly where he was 6 months ago. Okay. The difference is having the right framework and the right support system. And if you're ready to accelerate your own growth, you can check out my Career Growth Accelerator currently for here 2025. I have another one starting at the end of September, and we'll see what happens for 2026. So I end this as encouraging you to commit to something. As my coach says, if you have an insight without action, it's just amusement and entertainment. All right? There's 3 types of people here. Some majority are going to be listening to it and be like, oh, okay, I kept you to the end. I don't know why you're still watching this. You're amused, you're entertained, some food for thought, right? Most of you are going to be there. There's going to be some people that are going to commit to some change. You'll look at the structure. Maybe you'll look at this list. You'll try to do some self-work. You're that basketball player who's going to just get some more reps at the free throw line. And then there's going to be the last people that really want to commit to growth and they need help, right? They're the basketball player who wants a coach helping them with the free throws, so the three-point shooting to get better, right? Some can do it for themselves. Others want help. If you do need help, I look forward to hearing from you. But I hope today was helpful and impactful, and I can't wait to hear about how it's changing your life. Thank you.